listeners at our Jroot Radio. This is the show of Lecha Dodi. We're still in the spirit of Purim. This is Shushan Purim, and we want to get and come out with the message that the Megilat Ester, has to offer. Obviously, there's many things that we can learn from the Megillah, but today we're going to speak about one specific idea, and this idea I've heard from few different places. I'm going to say it now, a very nice idea I heard from Avisoel Birnbaum from the Mir Yeshiva, and that is when the Achashverosh got rid of Vashti, and now he was looking for a new wife to marry. He gathered all the ladies at his palace, and they got treated over there, as the pasuk says over here, Vayivahel et tamrukea manotea. He gave Esther tamrukim and manotea, and together with that, the pasuk says that they gave them also כי כן ימלאו ימי מרוכיהם 6 חודשים בשמן המור ו6 חודשים בבשמים ובתמרוקי הנשים. What does that mean? That means that every woman that was getting ready to meet Achashverosh received actually royal treatment. For 12 months, they got all these tamrukei hanashim and shemen hamor. Shemen means all kind of very nice, good oils. Besamim, they got perfumes. Tamrukei nashim, cosmetics. And the question is, what's the idea of 12 months, day in and day out, putting those perfumes and cosmetics when it takes 12 months until they come in front of Achashverosh? What's the purpose of putting so much perfume every day? They could have done it just the last day. What's the idea of keep on giving again perfumes, cosmetics? What's the purpose of that? There's no reason for that. Nothing changes in a person if you put more perfumes and more cosmetics over a year. If she would look nice, she would look nice regardless. If she wouldn't look nice, then if you want to beautify her with perfumes and cosmetics, you could do that in the last day also. You don't need to do that for 12 months. This is where this chidush comes about, interesting chidush, and that is that a person really, for 12 months, needs to get that feeling that he looks good. When you give a person the feeling that he looks good, the inner beauty shines out. It's not only an outer beauty that Achashverosh was looking for, because if a person comes after 12 months and that same day they put all the makeups and all the perfumes and the oils that's needed on him, that is only an outside beauty. But a person that doesn't look beautiful, on the outside you can see it right away. A person that feels beautiful in the inside, you feels that he's really worth it. He's really worthwhile. He really looks good. If a person feels like this inside, that shines out, and the beauty is actually showing from the outside as well. So this was an idea of Achashverosh that understood this very concept, that I'm not only looking for somebody outside that looks nice, but it had to also feel nice in order for the beauty to actually shine out and look out. That's a very interesting idea, and this is actually what the ministers, what the advisors of Achashverosh couldn't understand. They didn't understand that very basic, because when the time came to get rid of Vashti, they gave the advice to Achashverosh, get rid of Vashti, you don't need her. She didn't come to the party, get rid of her. And on the same time, they told him, what you need to do is take all the people in the world and let them know that they have to do the following. Each man needs to be sorer beveito umdaber bilshon amo. What does that mean, sorer beveito umdaber bilshon amo? Rashi says, sorer beveito means moshel beishto. It means that a person needs to be a ruler over. That's a Ibn Ezra. Ibn Ezra says, Moshel v'ishto, he needs to rule in the house. They taught the Sarim and the advisors, taught Achashverosh, he should know that give out such a decree that every man in the world should be the ruler in his house over his wife. Umdaber b'lshon amo, on that Rashi says, Kofeh ishto lilmod et leshono, which means there was over here a demand that every woman needs to be speaking the language of her husband. The purpose of that, obviously, is to humiliate and degrade those women in the house. It's already known, as the Megillah, as Masechet Megillah says, that every person in the house back then was the ruler of the house. Of course, the man is the one that was ruling over the house. But when he came and said such a decree that every person needs to rule, that means to humiliate, to degrade, to lower, and demean their wives in such a way. Medaber b'lishon amo, it needs to be kofeh, needs to force it onto the house, that every man should be speaking his language over the language that his wife is used to. That came in order to demean the wife, and therefore the decree that came out was something at the time that Achashverosh still wasn't 100% over with the Mishteh, and therefore he went along with it. But afterwards, when he became sober and he understood that he lost his wife Vashti, that he loved so much, and he was so saddened by that, he understood that right now he needs to find somebody that's going to take her place. When he came to the advisors again, the advisor gave him a good advice: go find all the women in the world, those that look to your taste, and bring them to the palace. And at the time that they need to come in front of you, it says in the pasuk, "Tamrukei hanashim," which means to say, on that day, make sure that they beautify themselves with all the cosmetics needed, all the perfumes needed. And Achashverosh now learned his lesson already. He knew that those advisors over here, those are the ones that made him the mistake, that caused him the mistake to get rid of Vashti that he loved so much, that had that self-esteem and was feeling that feeling of beauty that was shining out. Vashti was a granddaughter of a king, and therefore she had that self-esteem, she had that confidence in her, and that was Achashverosh was missing so much. When now they came and told him, under the decree that they just made, that every woman should be lowered than their husband, and also with that they told him to add to that at the time that they come in front of him, they should put all the makeup. Achashverosh now took precaution. He knew that's not the right thing to do. Now he said that it needs to take 12 months till a person feels good about himself. Once a person feels good about himself, it's a totally different person. He comes in with confidence that looks much, much better and much more appealing to Achashverosh. And therefore, not only that they received everything that's needed, but it says in the psukim over here even more than that. The psukim say that when Esther came, or when these ladies came in front of Achashverosh, not only that they gave her all these cosmetics and oils and perfumes, ובזה הנראה באה למלך, את כל אשר תאמר יינתן לה לבוא עמה מבית הנשים עד בית המלך, which means they gave her anything that she wanted, any item that needed for her to feel good about herself, they gave it to her. What's not needed for? That's needed again, that a person should feel royally, should feel good. When a person feels good, then the connection is much better. He shines out much better. He comes out much better. This is something that every person needs to know, that when a person wants to build up a relationship, whether it's a relationship in a house, a relationship with his friends, he needs to know that the relationship needs to be that you build the other person. You make him feel good. Once you make the other person feel good about himself, that is the way to make sure that you're going to get back somebody who's healthy, somebody who's good, somebody who can build up a healthy relationship. That's what it says, by the way, in the psukim. Ki la'Hashem hamlucha u'moshel bagoim. The famous gra. What does it mean? Ki la'Hashem hamlucha u'moshel bagoim. In Am Yisrael, it's melucha, bagoim, it's moshel. What's the difference? Melucha, says the gra, is when the people appoint the king, and melech velo am, which means to say the king needs to be appointed by the people. They want him. When a person is wanted by the people, he's a king. They make him a king over them. That's melucha. But moshel bagoim, that's Am Yisrael. Moshel is bagoim. Why moshel bagoim? Because that is somebody that's moshel bechozka. He comes in with force, not with the will of the people. They're not interested in him, but he has to force his way. Therefore, over here, also in the psukim that we just saw, that כל איש יהיה מושל בביתו, הוא מדבר בלשון עמוס, שורר בביתו. What does it mean שורר בביתו? We said from the Ibn Ezra, מושל באשתו, which means against her will. When it's against her will, that doesn't work. It needs to be, as Chazal say, איזו אישה הכשרה עושה, that's רמה, not Chazal, רמה says, איזו אישה כשרה עושה רצון בעלה, and the Rambam brings down, תהיה בעיניו כמלך, כשר וכמלך. How does that happen? That doesn't happen with Moshel, rather it happens with LaHashem HaMelucha. That happens with Melucha. How Melucha happens? When a person actually gives the other person. As Chazal say about how a man should behave in a house. או אהבה כגופו, או מכבדה יותר מגופו. Then the reaction would be, כי LaHashem HaMelucha. That is a malchut, that is accepted. And this is how Achashverosh now, to this point, now he understood the mistake that he made with forcing his way out, and therefore he lost Vashti, and he lost the way throughout the people that every man should be sorer beveito. Sorer, as we're saying right now, is a moshel. Now Achashverosh take a different approach. He wants everybody to feel good about themselves, and this is what happens now in these psukim. Same idea is by Kohen Gadol. When a Kohen Gadol wore the Shmona Bgadim, it's interesting that one of the Shmona Bgadim is ketonet tashbetz. What does it mean ketonet tashbetz? He had that ketonet, the tunic, that had box lines knitting all over it. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. Rashi says over there on that pasuk that ketonet tashbetz asuim mishbetzot lenoi. It was made squares like this, boxes like this for beauty. That the Kohen, what's the purpose of that? There's no reason for it if it's all covered. And this was, the kotonet tashbetz was worn under all the shmona bgadim, under the clothing, and therefore the top was covering that kotonet tashbetz. What's the purpose of that? So he says the same idea as well, that this is to make a person feel good about himself. It's not necessarily needed to show outside, but when a person wears something that's very nice, although it's inside, a person feels royally with that. He feels good with that. He feels very important. It's very prestige. If that's the case, a person feels good about himself. It's a totally different avodah in Bet HaMikdash. You come to Bet HaMikdash, the Kohen Gadol, and you work over there, you do the avodah. It's a different avodah when a person feels he wears such expensive clothing, and that is the reason for that as well. So what happens when one comes and he doesn't have that feeling? He doesn't have the feeling that he can do, that he feels good about himself, that he can conquer, he can actually achieve. What do you do in such a case? That also the Megillah reveals to us over here very nicely in the story of Mordechai and Esther. When Mordechai finds out everything that happens in Shushan הבירה, ומרדכי ידע את כל אשר נעשה, את כל אשר נעשה, ויקרא מרדכי את בגדיו, וילבש שק ואפר. Mordechai starts mourning over what's happening over here. He knew about the gzera that Achashverosh and Haman are plotting against Am Yisrael, and he sends the message to Esther HaMalka, and he tells her that this is what the plan and the plot is. ותבואנה נערות אסתר ושריסיה ויגידו לה. When they came and told her, what's the reaction of Esther? ותתחלחל המלכה מאוד. ותתחלחל המלכה means she got very scared, she got very afraid. מלשון, says the Ibn Ezra, חיל אחז יושבי פלשת. חיל אחז means fear, she had fear. חיל אחז יושבי פלשת ותתחלחל המלכה מאוד. What does that mean? She got very frightful. So therefore, she can't do anything. When a person is very much scared, he can't act, he can't behave, he can't do anything. Over here, she needed to act. Mordechai needed her to act in behalf of the Jewish people, but she wasn't able at that point because she got very scared. What should she do at that point? ותתחלחל המלכה מאוד. So therefore, Mordechai, she tells Mordechai, what should I do? So Mordechai tells her, go and speak to Achashverosh. Go speak to the king. He says the following, להגיד לה לצוות עליה לבוא אל המלך, להתחנן לו ולבקש מלפניו על המה. Go in front of King Achashverosh and ask for Am Yisrael. Go and beg him and ask him to save Am Yisrael, not to take the decree to an action. ויבוא התח ויגד לאסתר את דברי מרדכי. So the message came the following. ותאמר אסתר להתח ותצווהו אל מרדכי. Go tell, Esther told התח, go and tell Mordechai the following. כל עבדי המלך ועם מדינות המלך יודעים אשר כל איש ואישה אשר יבוא אל המלך אל החצר הפנימית אשר לא יקרא אחת דתו לעמית. לבד מאשר יושיט לו המלך את שרביט הזהב וחיה. ואני לא נקראתי לבוא אל המלך זה 30 יום. Esther tells Mordechai, I can't go in front of Achashverosh right now. The reason I can't go in front of him is because it's known to everybody the law by the palace. If you come close to the king without being called, achat dato la'amid. There's not even a doubt. There's not even a safek. It's not even an option. Right away, the king chops off your head. I can't go in front of him unless he calls me. Over here, he didn't call me already 30 days. So how is it the right move to go right now? You want me to go right now? It doesn't make any progress right now. It's not going to work out. Let me wait until he calls me. The decree was a way further than right now. It was a year ahead of time, and therefore I have time. I'll be called. Eventually he's going to call me. He's going to want to see me, and then I'll go in front of him and I'll speak in behalf of our nation. But right now, I can't go in front of him. It's not possible. Achat dato la'amit. Right away, he's going to chop off my head. So the response of Mordechai to this is very surprising. It's lichora, Esther was talking over here very sensible things, dvarim shel ta'am. Mordechai answers her some things that very hard to understand. ויאמר מרדכי להשיב אל אסתר. אל תדמי בנפשך להימלט בית המלך מכל היהודים. He starts giving her musar that's not understood. He tells her, don't think that you're going to be escaped and everybody will die. No, don't think that way. And he starts talking to her very harshly. כי אם החרש תחרישי בעת הזאת, רווח והצלה יעמוד ליהודים ממקום אחר. If you're going to stay quiet, you're going to keep quiet, the Am Yisrael will be saved from a different person, from a different place. We don't need you. את ובית אביך תאבדי, you're going to die together with your whole family. ומי יודע אם לעת כזאת הגעת למלכות. Such very harsh things that's not so clear. Why Mordechai took it so harsh on Esther? Why did he do that? What's the purpose of that? Esther was talking to him, dvarim shel ta'am, reasonable things. I can't go right now. Wait for Shat Kosher, a time that is the right time, sometimes that I see that Achashverosh is in a good mood, he wants to talk to me, I have some kind of way to convince him of what I want. But right now, if I go, achat dato la'amid, there's no purpose for that. And Mordechai starts giving it to her. You're going to die if not. And Am Yisrael are counting on you. And mi yodea im le'et kazot egat lamalchut. That's the reason you came into the melucha, for that mission that you have right now. What's the idea? I heard from Rav Shia, it's the following. Beautiful. He says that many times we feel that we can't do things. We feel our hands are tied, we can't do things. We're very limited, we don't know how to do it, we can't do it, we feel that we can't achieve, we don't have that inability to achieve those things that we need to do. But in reality, the truth is not so. In reality, a person could get much higher than he thinks. He can reach much further than what he knows about himself. And if you just give him the encouragement, you just give him the push, and he feels good about himself, you give him that push that he feels confident about himself, he can achieve much more. Over here, Esther was under the feeling of the fear. ותתחלחל המלכה מאוד. She got very frightful, she got very scared, she couldn't move. A person, once he is scared, he can't move, he can't do anything. So when Mordechai came to her, he told her, you should know that you could do it. There's no reason you can't do it. It's achievable. It's something you could do. If you just make the right moves, you'll be able to reach. And mi yodea im le'et kazot igat lamalchut. This is why Hashem brought you to this moment, this time, in order for you to do the right moves and you'll be able to achieve it. And this is exactly what happens. Esther makes the right moves. She says to the people, fast for me. And I'll do exactly what's needed in order to achieve that, and she was able to achieve it. And that's why it says in the Pasuk that when Esther came, how did she come? ויהי ביום השלישי ותלבש אסתר מלכות What does it mean, Malchut? Malchut, normally it means, Bepashtut, when you learn the psukim, it means Bigdei Malchut, as Rashi says. But Rashi adds to that Rabotenu said differently. Rabotenu amru shelavsha ruach hakodesh. She dressed in her ruach hakodesh. What does that mean? When she got this confident, when she got the feeling that she can do it, she can do it. She's doing it l'shem shamayim. She's doing it for Am Yisrael. She got that confident. That was malchut. That was ruach hakodesh. That was now her. She came in dressed with that ruach hakodesh. She came in together with Hakadosh Baruch Hu. And when a person comes like that, knowing that what he's doing l'shem shamayim, and he's doing because Hakadosh Baruch Hu wants him to do that thing that moment, it's achievable, it's doable, it's something you can do. Interesting, Gemara in the end of Ta'anit. The Gemara in the end of Ta'anit tells us that there were 2 times in the year that are the happiest times of the year. לא היו ימים טובים לישראל כיום הכיפורים וט"ו באב. The happiest days for Am Yisrael throughout the calendar are Yom HaKippurim. The Gemara says Yom HaKippurim because it's Yom Slicha v'Chapara. Every person gets cleaned from his averot, from his sins. But what's the idea of Tu B'Av, the 15th of Av? Why is that such a special and happy day? So Gemara gives different reasons, and one of the reasons because on that days, those that weren't married were getting shidduchim. They were doing, as we see over here, some kind of idea of speed dating like that the men were in one place and the ladies were in a different place, and they got to know each other and they got married with that. So the Gemara says over here in the end that each woman came out and said a different idea why the person should marry her. Tanu Rabbanan, יפהפיות שבהם היו אומרות, תנו עיניכם ליופי, שאין אישה אלא ליופי. Those that look nice told those that they wanted to marry us because we look nice. And therefore that's something that's very important, and that's the reason you should marry us. מיוחסות שבהם, those that came from a very important and good family, they said to the men, מה היו אומרות? תנו עיניכם למשפחה, לפי שאין האישה אלא לבנים. You should marry us. You know why? We are the best candidate. The reason is because we have such a good family. And therefore you should marry us for that family, because and isha ela lebanim, you're going to have children, and you want to have children from a mishpacha miyucheset, somebody that's a good family, somebody that the children will be raised in the best possible way. And then you have the third section of women that were called over here la mechoarot, that those that weren't good looking, and they didn't have yichus as well. They didn't have anything, not yichus, and not beauty, and not money, and not anything. So now what are they going to offer? What they're going to offer? מכוערות שבהם, מה היו אומרות? They said the following, קחו מקחכם לשם שמיים, ובלבד שתיאטרונו בזהובים. Marry us לשם שמיים. That's what they said. Beautiful, marry us לשם שמיים. But they add to that, ובלבד שתיאטרונו בזהובים. Make sure you fill us also, and you give us zehuvim, a lot of golds, a lot of diamonds, a lot of jewelry. Very interesting. Those that had something to offer, they had yefeifiyot shebahem, miyuchasot shebahem. I understand if they would come with a demand. They have a demand. I want this, I want that. And they didn't come with a demand. They said, marry us because we have this trait over here, that ma'ala over here, that plus, and therefore that's a reason to marry us. Those that miyuchasot, same thing. But mechoarot shebem, that had nothing to offer, how come they're coming over here with a whole demand list? They want you, first of all, they tell you, marry us l'shem shamayim, we have nothing to offer, do l'shem shamayim. And not only that, we have demands. Give us a lot of gold, give us a lot of jewelry, we need a lot of things. It's very interesting, and it probably didn't work, because if it works, what happens over here? Why would somebody go for it? But we must say that it did work, because it was going on day in and day, every year, every single year. This was the same thing. Those mechoarot, מה היו אומרות? קחו מקחכם לשם שמיים, ובלבד שתיאטרונו בזהובים. Every year they used to say that. So obviously we have to say that it did work, and people did marry them. לשם שמיים, and not only that, it was לשם שמיים, they gave them zeuvim. How is that possible? Not only that you're offering l'shem shamayim, it should be also with a demand of zeuvim. The answer is, I think, the following, that if they would come to the shidduchim as a neb, somebody with his face falling down, somebody that doesn't have what to offer, do it l'shem shamayim, that definitely wouldn't work. Nobody wants to marry anybody like that. They came over here with a demand. They said, we are worthwhile. You're marrying us. We are very important. Do it l'shem shamayim, but we have over here a demand. We want this and we want that. When a person comes with such self-esteem, with such confidence, with such feeling that he feels toward himself, that I'm quality, I'm worth a lot, and therefore I have a demand, even though there's nothing there to offer, a person is interested in that. That's something that's very important. That has chashivut. Therefore, each one needs to know that confidence is a very, very important thing. How do you get confident? A person needs to train himself that he's here and Hashem needs him. He's not here for no reason. Every person Hashem brought to this world with a mission, with a reason, with a purpose, and therefore we need to feel about ourselves how important it is. If Hashem didn't need us over here, we wouldn't be born to this world. If Hashem obviously needed us and only in this time, because now is when Hashem brought us into this world. And each one of us has a mission, and the mission is a very, very important mission, because it's in the army of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And if you're part of the army of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you need to know how important you are. And that is what this psukim in the Megillah teach us. And this is how Mordechai teaches us, that if you know somebody that doesn't feel so good about himself, and there's a lot of people that really feel down about themselves, they're not so important, they feel they have no success in anything, give him that push, give him that thing. You came to this world for a reason, for a purpose, and Hashem needs you over here. Am Yisrael needs you over here. Make sure you elevate yourself. It's not stam words. These are the words of the Torah Kedosha, in the end of Masechet Ta'anit, to tell us each person needs to know that we are worth that. That it's not we're not somebody that's worth nothing. Rather, even though we have nothing lichora to offer, we need to know that we have a lot that we don't know about ourselves. And therefore, each one should make sure that he feels confident and that self-confidence within him in order to achieve the Avodat Hashem properly. Thank you for listening for Divrei Torah. We're going to take calls in Halacha right after the following song at the number at the studio, 718-683-5858, 718-683-5858. Anybody that wants to text, the text number is 347-927-8398.